Hello and welcome to Box and Ballers. You all would have watched the Ajax Europa League final video. Well, now it's all about Manchester United. We've spoken about that talented young team. Joining me on the show today, Dale, who is of course a football writer, and on top of that is a massive Red, the creator of Stretty News TV. Dale, Jimmy came on, spoke about this talented young Ajax side. You're here now to talk about the experienced Manchester United side. Tell us, are you confident going into the final?
No, I'm not all that confident. I think everyone's talking with this Ajax side being an ultra-attacking team, very, very young. I watched them against Lyon and I seen lots of gaps defensively. And I think going into this game, I think Manchester United scoring the first goal is absolutely vital. I think that young team could panic. And I think Mourinho's tactics to nullify Ajax would outstreet.
There's this massive argument between youth and experience in this Europa League final. However, you look at that United side, and I think it's in the last Europa League game, the one player who lined up for United who had a Champions League medal, a Premier League medal behind him for the club was Valencia, I think, and because Romero started, so it's just Valencia. So do you think that we can really talk about experience in this United side, or is it just an age thing?
I think it's just a bit of an age thing, because even at that, you look at this Man United team, it's not an old team. You know, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford. The centre-back's going to be Jones and probably Smalling. Blind's not old. No, it's not an old team. We're just looking at this Ajax team that are extremely young. And it's an exception to the rule of a team you'd expect in a European final. And it's typical of that of Ajax. You know, we think about Ajax and we think this fantastic European club that have always developed the best of young players. So it's fitting that they're in a final against a massive club like Manchester United. I think for the sake of the Europa League, everyone called it second rate. This is a big, big final given the size of the clubs. I think possibly we might talk about experience and lack of experience going to this game probably too much. Probably making too much of it. It's just the fact that they are so young, but we're not an aging side, you know. We should have beaten them.
Well, when we talk experience, when we talk United, we talk about the world record transfer fee. We talk about Paul Pogba. He hasn't trained much. Obviously, his father sadly passed away. He played on Sunday a good 44 minutes before being substituted. He got an assist, a wicked assist as well, and a goal. Does that help for confidence of Paul Pogba, or do you think he's going to be up for this final more than any game throughout the past season because of what's happened?
I think it definitely helped his confidence, and I think he's going to be one of the players that I think really needs to win this game for United, because he's come from a team that's been challenging for Champions Leagues and in a Champions League final this season again. And he's come to a team now that struggled since Ferguson's retirement. That's quest to be in the Champions League is bigger than ever, really. We're desperate to get into it because we've transfer business which relies on a place in the Champions League. So he knows a place in that is going to be surrounded by better players. I reckon too there was something released there previously about the money he's on, that the money isn't as big as people thought, and I actually believe if that is the case, there's a clause in that if Champions League football is achieved, he'll get that bonus. But aside from that, he's going to be up for this. As we mentioned, sadly, his dad just passed away, and his reaction to that at the weekend was to drive on, and he put a tweet up that he always looks up to Papa, is what he said. So he's determined to do something for himself. But I think this Manchester United team is going to be built around Paul Pogba. A lot was made of him this season being disappointing. I don't buy into any of it. I think Pogba has a lot of good performances, and at the weekend he just showed with that classy assist for Harrow, and the way he finished too. He's a fine player, and this final is cut out for him.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see what sort of display he'll put in against Ajax, and also how the manager will use him. Let's talk about Mourinho now. He's spoken about league position, he's spoken about success, he's spoken about Champions League, he's spoken about winning trophies. That's in the DNA of Manchester United. How has he done in this first season? And on top of that, will this Europa League final determine whether it's been a good or a bad season?
I think it does, and I think it's unfair. Anything can happen. You can hit the crossbreak, hit the post, and I don't think a bit of luck or unluck should determine whether it's been a good season or a bad season. Yes, right, we can look back on paper and we can say the aim was to get Champions League, and we did it by winning a cup, and we won a League Cup, and that's successful. Then we can look back, if we don't win, that we didn't get top four, we didn't get Champions League football, we lost the final, and we only won a League Cup, and it's fine lines. But for me, I think...
But then, Dale, sorry, would you then blame the manager because he put all of his eggs in that basket?
I think, given the football we played, there are areas concerned with the manager too, but I look at the squad as well, and I don't think he's 100% trusting that squad. He only signed 4 players last summer. One of them, Zlatan, no one can doubt whether he was successful or not. He was absolutely brilliant considering he came on a free. Pogba is the player who's going to build this team around, I believe. Bally, a fine player there. So look, given the 4 signings he's made, I'm positive that the signings he's going to make are going to be successful elsewhere. He's going to build a good team. The football hasn't really impressed me. I expected a lot better in the league. I'd say you look around, you look at teams like Arsenal that's struggling, and how close they came to a top 4 finish the last week of the season. Liverpool, look at the squad they had, look at the money they spent. It doesn't really compare. You look at the bench the last few weeks of the season. There was one picture up on social media beside Klopp, and it was a bunch of young players, schoolboys. It looked like a school trip for all the world. And they've got top 4. No excuses. So there's part of me that thinks we should have done better. I expected to do better. And if we don't win the Europa League, I think a lot of people got questions to make, a lot of questions to have with Mourinho. And next season, there'll be more pressure on him. And there's already, when you manage Manchester United, the pressure is fierce.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just adding to it. And I think some of his, he constantly is in the media complaining about fitness and injuries and fixtures. When you're a Manchester United manager, you're expected to win every game.
Yeah, no matter what team you've got to put out as well. We asked Jimmy this. If you haven't seen our Ajax preview ahead of the Europa League final, where we talk tactically about Ajax and the young side players to watch out for, go and check out. It'll be in the description below. We asked Jimmy this. We asked him about the Europa League final, how Ajax are going into it. He said that they're going into it as a massive European trophy to win, a massive European final for these Ajax players to play. However, when I look at the Manchester United fan point of view, some of them are pretty split on this in terms of whether they're going to win a European trophy or they're going to get Champions League football. Yourself, Dale, are you going into this thinking, yes, we can win a major European honour here? Or are you going into it thinking, we'll get Champions League football if we win this?
Start of the season, the aim was Champions League football. I think going into this, and as well as that, when I say I'm going to win to get a Champions place in Champions League, I think the fact we play an Ajax team, that when was it like they've had in the European Cup final in such a long time, it's such a tremendous football club, and I can't express that more. And so is Manchester United. So I think it's a romantic final. I think that kind of adds to it that these are 2 European powerhouses. Maybe not Ajax anymore because they're not winning Champions Leagues and that, but it's a respected club. And it's a romantic final. I think because of that, it adds to the feel that this is a European Cup final. Of course it is. Look, when Fergie was manager, when we were playing the Europa League, I put my hand up. I was arrogant towards it. And now I probably view it a bit differently. We need to win it. I think you can never say no. Like, I'll ask you the question. I know you're the host, but I'll ask you a question. Would you rather get 4th place and not win the Europa, or finish outside and get Champions League through winning silverware? For me, I'd rather win silverware.
Do you know what? I'll spin this. I spoke to my partner's dad's a Liverpool fan. I spoke to him the other day in the car, and he said to me, in 5 to 10 years' time, when you look back or you're in a pub quiz, who in 2017 came 4th, who in 2017 came 2nd, you're not gonna straight away go, right, let's look back at the history books, Tottenham, Liverpool. You're not gonna care. But when someone comes out with who won the Europa League in 2017, it was Mourinho's first major honour. It was Manchester United's 2nd trophy that season. They then went on after that to buy blah 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 blah. Then they're in the Champions League. They got to semi-finals. We know what Mourinho's like as a semi-final specialist. We can expect it already. Put your money on it. So it's one of those things. It means more, isn't it, to win trophies? And me personally, I've grown up a Manchester United fan from the 90s, the late 90s to now. It's Manchester United is all about winning trophies. It's in the DNA. I'd rather us go full ahead. And I was even saying this in the knockout, the after the group, last 16, last 32, whatever it's called. We should be going for this trophy. It's a trophy to win. It's like people who say the League Cup. I go and win the League Cup. It's a trophy at the end of the day. I'm very much in the mindset that Manchester United fans of new and old are in different opinions of this honour. But myself, if we win that trophy, I'm partying all night. Don't care. It's a trophy.
I won't be gone home till Friday.
Dale, tell me, buddy. We haven't, by the way, just so you guys know, we literally set this up quite last minute. Sorry to be unprofessional. So I haven't actually asked Dale this question yet. So when I ask him, he's going to put about 6 players in different positions or repeat 6 or 7 players at the same time. Dale, your starting 11, please.
Yeah. I'm going to go Romero in goal. And not because Mourinho has said that. I firmly believe he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's come into between the sticks all season, the Europa League, and has never put a foot wrong. He's kept us in games. He's been absolutely brilliant this season. Been really impressive. And this is a player now previously who I didn't rate in his first season United under Van Gaal. I thought he was a horrible goalkeeper. But this season, he proved me wrong. Deserves a place in the final. And he's one of the players that's brought us there.
Yeah.
Right back, Valencia, just no questions about that. And been our best player this season, I believe.
This is a headache now, isn't it? Because Eric Bailly suspended. Smalling and Jones have played a few of the last couple of games together to see who potentially will partner Blind, I presume. Who would you go for out of the two?
Jones and Bailly. No, Jones and Blind, sorry.
There it was.
Jones and Blind.
Jones, why Jones?
Why Jones? I believe that Jones, Smalling and Blind are all the same level. There's no one really better than just small little differences. And when I watch Chris Smalling, I see a player that is all over the place in the positional sense. I see concentration levels up and down. And in a final where anything can happen at any minute, you need players focused, and I don't see that with Smalling, so I'm going to go with Jones. I don't think Jones is brilliant either, to be honest. And personally, I'd sell both of them this summer, but I think it's going to be Chris Smalling that'll be put on the list to be sold. Jones might get another year to the skin of his teeth, but that's beside Blind, who again we all know. I know he played centre back last season. He's not a centre back.
No, I said Jones as well because he's a warrior. That's my only given reason. He's a warrior. And I also worry a bit less when someone fast runs at him than when someone fast runs at Smalling. I think that's the difference between the two. And he's not going to chuck Tuanzebe in, who I think if there was a manager with a little more guts to play the youth, and I'm not saying that as a discredit to Mourinho, he's probably making the right decision. You can't chuck in a lad that young. I think Tuanzebe's been brilliant since he's come into the side, and he is not afraid to stick in a tackle, and he is also not afraid to have someone fast run at him. Big stage, he would be a possibility for me, but it's not going to happen. So you're right, Jones to partner Blind, I think.
Yeah, and at left back, I would go with Darmian. I've seen a lot of people suggest lately that he's one of the players that people want sold in the summer. I agreed with him up until Christmas time. I think the last month or two, I think defensively he's been very, very sound. Hasn't put many foot wrong. And I think he deserves a spot. And I think people will say Luke Shaw is a better left back. He is, but not in the eyes of Jose Mourinho. I know he's also he's fit injured as well. But I think Mourinho mentioned it a few months ago that Darmian is a much better defender. Smalling's better going forward. But I look at Mourinho, what's he going to do in this game? He's going to defend a lot more than attack. And that's Mourinho's mindset. He doesn't trust that defence. This Ajax team are going to come at us quick and fast. They're an attack-minded team. That's why I think he's going to go defensive and play Darmian at left back.
And what are we saying about the midfield? Is it going to be a 4-3-3? Is it going to be a 4-2-3-1? Which sort of way are we looking at?
I think it'll be a 4-3-3. But look, Mourinho is a manager that is so unpredictable at times. He's changed things. In big games, he played 3 at the back a few weeks ago, and that's not something that I expected Mourinho to do at all. He could do anything. For me, it's going to be a 4-3-3. I think he's going to obviously going to Paul Pogba, although there's been some reports from an Ajax or a Dutch journalist that his hamstring is strained and he's a doubt, but I think Pogba will
I don't
play.
understand that either. People were reporting that Pogba was walking off gingerly. I didn't see that.
Myself. No, I didn't see that myself. I think he will play. I think if there was any problem with Paul Pogba's hamstring, there's no way Mourinho would have risked him a few days before Europa League final, which the prize is a spot in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think beside him, I think he'll play Fellaini. I think he'll play Fellaini, and I think he'll play, well, obviously Herrera. Carrick misses out, and Carrick will probably be a good option to come off the bench in the second half, should United be a goal or two ahead.
Yeah, no, and who up top?
The main man's going to be Rashford. Right. And the thing with him is he has to take his chances. If he gets a one-on-one chance, he has to put in the back of the net. United have to score the first goal.
And by the way, Dale, what a story. What a story from his debut against Midtjylland to a Europa League final a year later. What a story if he does grab an important goal.
Ben, it's an ongoing story, and it's going to go on and on and on. He just has everything for his age. I seen BT Sports done an interview in which we released on Wednesday night, and the guy that did the interview just said that he was years beyond his maturity. You know, he just speaks so well. Either side of him, I'm going to go with Lingard. I love the final Lingard, puts 110% in and gets a lot of stick from United fans, which I don't really understand. And on the other side, I'm going to go with Martial.
Wow, he's been in and out of the side, Anthony Martial. Has he done enough over the past 3 games in the appearances he's made towards the end of the season to get in that Europa League final side?
So there's been a few games which I've been impressed with, but I think overall for the season, no, he hasn't been anywhere near the standard last year. But I still feel that on his day, and I'm saying this all season, one-on-one with a centre-back or going head-to-head with a full-back, I always fancy Anthony Martial to beat the man. And if he can do that at the right time, and someone's in the box at the right time, boom, United score a goal. And I think Martial has that electric streak. Now, that means we're leaving out Mkhitaryan and Juan Mata. What a selection headache. You know, up front.
I was going to say, you've gone Romero, Valencia, Jones, Blin, Darmian, Pogba, Fellaini, Herrera, Lingard, Rashford, Martial. I have got 2 different players up top. Okay. I've gone Mata and Mkhitaryan, either side of Rashford.
But look, the thing is that you could have 10 Man United fans in a room.
Yeah, and we'd all go different. Yeah,
we'd all go different, and for different reasons. I think out of my team, the one that I'm not sure will start is Martial.
Yeah,
I know I just know Lingard will start, and the way he played brilliant the other week in his first half cameo. And Mourinho was very, very careful in taking him and Pogba off early for fitness concerns. But look, the point of the matter is we've got Martial and Mata there as well on the bench to spice things up if needs be. And there's not many teams in the world, never mind Europa League, that can jump to backups like that on the bench.
How bright is the future, Dale, if United come away with a victory here? Is it defining in the early Mourinho era?
Yeah, it is. This is what Mourinho builds his team on for me. This is European Cup in that perspective. This is what you build the stepping stone into the Champions League. And our summer business depends on this. The likes of Griezmann, I believe, will come to Manchester United if there's Champions League football. If there's not, I expect another underwhelming season like this season, next season. I expect not much of an improvement. It's going to be hard to lure players because we had such an opportunity this year and we were so unconvincing.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, what are you scared of in terms of this Ajax side? You must have seen them play in this wicked run in the Europa League.
I'm scared of the striking. His name is Dahlberg, but what frightens me going to this game is that with a team like this of youngsters, like, it's ours to lose. They can just go out and just try things. You know, I know it's Champions League or Europa League final and they're going to be a bit nervous, but the whole world is watching them, kind of excited to see what they're made of, and it's such a big stage. And I just see if they have that drive with a young team, anything can happen. I'm just worried that we cave in and panic and play with fear, because I think the last few months under Mourinho, we've played with fear and we haven't been convincing. And if that Ajax team start well, we could bottle it.
Yeah, I think you're right in what you said earlier on. The getting that first goal and scoring a couple is very, very crucial. I think if you're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go against a young side like this and Mourinho decides to park the bus, it's going to be squeaky bum time. That's for sure. It's going to be very, very nerve-wracking. Dale, on that point, prediction please, buddy.
2-0 Man United.
2-0, home and dry.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the, if it could be 5 within the 20th minute, that would be perfect just to ease the tension. Dale, thank you so much for coming on again, buddy, and I'll speak to you after Stockholm.
Brilliant, thanks for having me.
Cheers, buddy. We're Box and Ballers. Subscribe to us for more content on the biggest talking points in boxing and football. Ajax fans, United fans, good luck for Wednesday night. We'll speak to you after.